any chairs in here, so there will be. We're going to have teachers. We're going to have a bilingual service. Coming up, great special needs, including both languages. That is there. So the English service this morning is going to follow the schedule. Rather than 10:30, rather than 30% each school. 11:30 will be Sunday school. All and 12:30 we have service. Combined bilingual service on the 23rd is the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And so that day will come in first Saturday. I know. And so final being just casual personalities, I love to take PK and so keep that in mind. Remember, 23rd, there is a sign sheet on the application there for the drinks and for the service. So rightly, when you are both, wonderful. John chapter 15 in the Bible. I want to take the word this morning that we use so casually is the word love. We answer the question, what does it mean to love? What does it mean to love? To love God? John chapter 15, we spoke about this last week. Very fruitful in John chapter 15. But really, it's one of those chapters in the Bible that is so packed with truth that you can leave truth from it and share them and bring to the lesson. We need more time. I don't know that we'll do that in next week, but John chapter 15 is where I'd like to turn to this morning. And when we think about love, we just so casually say, I love, and then whatever it is. The truth is that many times when we use the word love, it means that I really like someone. A young person will tell, I love. Well, I'll say, I love chocolate donuts. I do, but I wouldn't give my life for a chocolate donut. That means I like chocolate donuts. So we have to understand that there's different degrees of love, there's different levels of love. There's a love, there's a lust, that's love. Normally, teenage love is what it is, it's lust. Because they're not willing to sacrifice. They just want to give. And they'll say whatever they have to say in order to give what they want to give. And that's lust. And then there's a love of I like you. You're cool, my friend. You know, your high school friend. I love these things. That's forever. 2 weeks later, I will continue. And then there's a love that's willing to sacrifice. That's the God. Now, most of us know what it's like to have a community. There takes maturity and growth to get to the point where God can love through us. Most of us are not. Because the moment loving requires sacrifice, God's love is a love that sacrifices. So I want us to learn this morning what it is to love as God loves us. And only then we can be this world is full of us. All this, all Facebook, Instagram, all of that, videos, it's on us. It's on us. 98% of TV is us. But in the middle of this world, we need to mature Christians for love. Not we need to love. When God wants to love we have to continue to do. I was thinking, when he talked about this, he said, my little children, for whom that word means for whom I've never heard of him. And he said this, I love you first and foremost to love. Loving our God, loving all things. And we want to. Most of our love is in the comfort. Our love is always. The reason this world is the way it is, I don't think because of sin, because of Christians. We're not going to love and so the Bible says, to really we it's such a convicting, such a commitment that you were willing to sacrifice your lives. So then the question is, what are we willing to sacrifice? When you think about missionaries that in Christ left this country, left the country, where they knew they would not, they got a hold of it. Somehow the mind they consider the definition of sacrifice, how to spend it, and how to respond. So again, the majority of cases, we use the word love in a very generic sense. And I'll ask Rose if she's here. I said, do you love Coco? She says, I love Coco. And she wouldn't die for Coco. Coco's our dog. By the way, he nipped at Brother Dennis's foot one time. And that same day, I wouldn't die for the dog. You know, I would love to say that I love my kids at a different level than I do. I hope that they can see that. I said a few weeks ago in church, I said that every will come through here. Not a single man. I went. I said, oh my. Well, Second Timothy chapter 3 and verse number 4 says that at the end times there will be dangerous things because people will be lovers of themselves more than lovers of themselves more than God. Go to First John chapter 9 and go to First John chapter 9. He's from the end of the Bible. See the nation. We're going to go back to the first several pieces in John and First John and go back and forth. I want to share with you First John chapter number 4 and verse 17. The first point this morning is this: love has to be experienced. Love needs to be experienced. First John chapter 4 and verse number 19. Probably close to one of the shortest verses in the Bible, one of the most impactful verses in the Bible, and it says this: we love him because he first loved us. You read it in this part of this verse, we love him because he first loved us. Now, the Bible is detailed that in the case of our relationship with God, we love him and he initiated love. The only reason we need to love God today is because he first loved us. Romans chapter 5 and verse number 8 says, but God commended his love for us in that only way as his Christ died for us. Ephesians chapter number 2 is in Ephesians chapter number 2 statement is the last one. So that Ephesians chapter 2 verse 12 and 9. He says, why is it so hard to serve you? Why is it so hard to be faithful? Why is it so hard to do it for God and to give and sacrifice? Ephesians chapter 2 verses 1 through 9. And oftentimes I believe the reason why it's so difficult for Christians is because we fail to remember the love he had for us. Ephesians chapter 2 verses 1 through 9, please. Notice what it says, and you have been quickened, who were dead in the trespasses and sins, where in time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh with the children of disobedience. Verse 3, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past in the lusts of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, Then verse number 4 makes the great verse transition. But God, who is rich in mercy, for his great love, wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead in sins, hath quickened us together with Christ. By grace you are saved, and hath raised us up together, and made us sit together in heavenly places in Christ Jesus. That in the ages to come, salvation might show the exceeding riches of his in the kindness for us to Christ Jesus. For by grace we are saved, and that not of yourselves is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. And so we see that in our relationship with God, the reason we love him is because he loved us first. He initiated it. First John chapter 4, please, in verses 9 to 10, turn right there. First John chapter 4, verses 9 to 10. Master, why should I love God? Because he loves us. First John chapter 4, verses 9 to 10. He said, well, how did he love us? What has God ever done for me? Notice what he says in this manifest the love of God because God sent only begotten Son into the world that we might live through him. Herein is love. Not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation of payment for our sins. That's not the reason. My brother-in-law just came, and some of you know helped us install a roof. Did a great job. Drove from Chicago. Spent 2.5 days. My heart is overwhelmed. And I say this with all this is he would have gone to be do this thing. I would do this thing without thinking. You say, why? Because of what? And so whenever we're lacking on our side, it's because we forgot what he did in his life. And that's why context said we take communion. Because communion reminds us. And Jesus said, I want you to take communion so you can remind you of my blood and remind you of my bread. It's the motivation for our service. And oftentimes we have to remember that the only reason we love him is because of our service. So Paul is saying this, he loved us when we were not loved. He bought us with his love. He adopted us and made us his children. My sister brought me 2 days. My nephew, I'm going to say it, present. His mom was a Christian. She was in a war. And my sister coming out from the people that she didn't want having to be in worship. She said, we'll take it. So 3 weeks old, she got. And now, his mother didn't know was pregnant from another. Same story. She said, we'll adopt her too. So now, my niece, people, on the great lake. She said, and all those things. But and it hurts so that we start to think about all Christ did for us. He adopted us, he made us his children, he sealed us with the promise. And that seal means we belong to him. It's our security. And he gave us precious promises to never get rid of. And then when we got it, we used to take it from him. So when I think of this, I understand a little bit more. It makes sense. The Bible says we love him because he first loved us. So love has to be experienced. I asked you this morning, have you experienced that? No, by nature, we don't think of spiritual things. We think of our bank accounts, we think of our to-do list, and we think about what has to be done, and it just what hurts me, what to be repaired, and maybe tomorrow's this. But if we stop and think about it, man, I was going to spend eternity with him. And I want to spend eternity with him. He died for me. And again, I'm not attempting to make you emotional, but I think the purpose of preaching is to make us understand that love has to be experienced, but number two, love has to be given. It's reciprocal. It means it's given, or it's felt, and it's done in return. The word reciprocal has synonyms, and it means corresponding. Corresponding. It means it goes both ways. It means it's returned. It means it's mutual. It simply means this in simple terms. It means that we are to give what we have received. We're not supposed to be just receivers, but we're supposed to be givers of the Spirit that we receive. So first of all, what are we supposed to love? We're supposed to love God. Matthew chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22. We're supposed to love God first. The object of our love ought to be the Lord. Matthew chapter 22 and verse number 34. I can't think those enough for all she's done for me. Listen, Jesus invited her to New York for a birthday. And she leaving in the morning. It's expensive. I don't know how they do that cooking for them. I'm going to be transparent with you. When I selfish, I say, no, don't go. If you go, you mess up my schedule. And I want to hunt Monday morning. Now I can't go sit in the tree. And my selfishness, it's my profession. I don't even might not come to work. And all I'm thinking is, me. I can sacrifice it. I had to back and forth for the time we had to come. Monday morning from closer. What I'm simply saying is this is when we think about when gratitude is in our hearts, our actions, it provokes us to want to do them. Love has to be given. Matthew chapter 22, verse number 34. Notice what it says, please. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put Sadducees to Sadducees, they were gathered together. And one of the Pharisees, verse number 35, which was a lawyer, and that doesn't mean a lawyer in the sense of today's legal order, but somebody who knew the law of Moses, and said, asked him a question, tempted him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? And Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord God, the Lord thy God, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and the great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Notice what he said. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. In other words, if you could love God, you could love your neighbor, that will take care of everything else. Because when you love your neighbor, you're not going to speak for him. When you love your neighbor, you're going to help. When you love your neighbor, you're going to encourage. When you love your neighbor, you're not going to touch them. So all of the commandments keep taking care of this. Love. Here's what we miss. We fail to love the neighbor. And what we do it make it out of convenience rather than obedience first. You see, the first person you have to love is God. You have to love Him first. Now, what does it mean to love God? That's a great question. Because again, talking is cheap. Say, do you love God? Yeah, I love God. But what does it mean to love God? Turn back to John chapter 14. There's one word that stands out in it. I'm sure there's different facets, but one word predominantly that Jesus spoke about that is the litmus test to see if we love God or we like God or maybe we're just being John chapter 14, verse 15. John chapter 14 and verse 15. By the way, you know how to know if a kid loves his parents? That's how you know when you have a kid's parents. They don't obey. And they tolerate as long as they need. As long as they need something. As long as they don't need it, never have to work. True love is never thinking about it. I'm thinking about this for it. Always with Jesus. John chapter 14 and verse 1. Now it's easy to obey Jesus. Sometimes it's hard to make the will regardless. John and Luke wonder, say what the Father should say. Notice what it says. This is what Jesus said. If you love me, keep my commandments. Notice verse 21. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me, so he loveth my Father. And I will love him and will manifest. Now, it's not a physical manifestation. But it's saying I will have communion. I will show him things and have fellowship with him. Who loves me? And who loves me? He that keeps my commandments. Verse number 23. Jesus mentioned it to the end. If man love me, he will keep my words. My Father will love him. And we will come to him and make our abode with him. And so time you think, listen, you know, the litmus test to see if you love me is, do you keep my commandments? Do you obey? So that's a litmus test for every one of us to say, am I an obedient son? Am I an obedient daughter? Jesus is teaching us in the church that love and obedience are inseparable. Turn back to 1 John, please, chapter 5. I hope you get the place of 1 John chapter 5, verses 1 through 3. We have a generation of Christianity. I don't know if you've seen it. Maybe you were here to see it. Maybe you just noticed it. Everybody loves Jesus, but nobody believes. Everybody loves the Lord, but there's very little obedience. And that's not what we do. That's just being saying. At the end of the day, Jesus said, be in church. I love the Lord. That's just one coming. Make a whole list. Notice what John chapter 5, verse 1 whosoever believes that Jesus is the Christ is born of God. And everyone that loves him, that is that, loves him also that is begotten of him. Notice if you love God, you're going to love your neighbor. Your fellow Christian. Listen to it. By this, we know that we love the children of God. When we love God and keep His commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous. Now pay attention to that word, grievous. That word grievous means that I'm heavy, not hard. Listen, church means, I get so hear when people say, Christian, it's so hard. The world is hard. Being a Christian is not hard. Love God and love your neighbor. You know what's hard? Prison. I have cousins spend a long time in prison. One of them at 22 was shot in the ribs and killed. That's hard. And all of the problems that come with living for the flesh, living for the lust, that's hard. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 11, verse 30, notice what it says, he says, for my yoke, take my yoke. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. And a young man looked at him. He said, listen to this. Listen. He brought the church. He said, I got away from God. He said, no, you haven't been here in a long time. He said, I started drinking. And I lost a lot of things. He said, I got to get back to God. I said, his head is. The reason you're coming back is because it was fun. He said, actually, I have no idea how much I just made in the orchestra. I miss being in church. I miss the church meetings. I miss the youth activities. He said, out there, all I can say is, take his word and take his yoke. It's nice and it's enjoyable. Being a Christian is fun. He said, a Christian can be so humble. The implement is like everybody goes through. I'm very happy. Being a Christian is great. You know who doesn't enjoy being a Christian? Somebody like that. Somebody who's forced to be in church, but their heart is in the world. Somebody who's forced to sing Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, but the moment they leave, and ear pods and earphones come on, and they're singing something totally opposite to what we sing in church. To them, church is boring. Oh, I hate church. It's so boring. I had a volleyball game just last night. Had a Christian tournament growing up with hundreds and hundreds of kids. And it was a tournament. And I was surrounded by a bunch of high schoolers that felt young. A lot of place to get on. The ground, the group. Somehow the DJ, I didn't call him the DJ, the guy that was running the soundboard, put some hype music, but it was music. It was world rock music. And instantly, all the kids around me, yeah, we love that song, let's pray. You're enjoying it. I mean, these are Christian kids. These are Christian small kids. One of the teachers goes and says, he goes to the microphone and he says, remember, there's 300 people in the gym. And he says, folks, I apologize for the music. I don't know what happened. He started going, whoa. And he started mocking. Not even hymns. Amazing Grace, making fun. This is so sick. These are Christian country making fun of him, making fun and see nothing wrong with rock and rap and hip hop and speak of drugs and sex and incest. This is the Christian generation we raised. Why? You lost sight. You forgot the love of God. That's the right. This kind of preaching. That's what we're on. Christianity is hurting. One of our teenage boys, I'm aware of the tournament, Christian school tournament. And so, staff listening to music at home. He says, we intentionally do away from go back to sleep. So what's going on? This conservative churches are not involved. People look at conservative churches with standards and morals, with keeping girls and girls and not homosexual people married. Oh, you guys are old fashioned. I'm fine with that. He's modesty. It starts going little by little. You have to get to the one who says, my love for God is my devotion to God, and loving God means obedience. By the way, marriage is going to fail. You say, 50-50. What does that mean? That's the biggest hogwash you've ever heard. You know what 50-50 means? 50-50 means this. You put your 50 and I'll put my 50. And together, 100. No. It's 100. 50-50 means if you pull your weight, then I'll pull my weight. But if you don't pull your weight, then I'm not pulling it. That's the recipe for the fast. That's good philosophy for you. In other words, as long as I'm happy, I'll put in the work. But when I'm not happy, I'm not putting the work. Now here's what it is. Marriage is 100%. Not because you're lovely, and not because you're the best cook in the world, and not because you think you're the best. I'm going to put in 100% because he expects me to put in 100%. Not I'm going to improve you, but I'm going to put in. One way marriage is going to work. In relationship with God. So we love God. So the Bible speaks about love received and love experienced. Loving God, loving in First John chapter. So that's what we know those people see makes the rest of the days of the He tries. Listen, my mom's making many tortillas in the night. She had a tortilla taco selling business for years and nobody can touch mom. I love Rosa because I love God. And he told me to love my wife. the deficiencies. I had to do it. I made more than you. I had to do it. You don't want to put pressure on people to put pressure on we're commanded to love them not with a selfish love, but with a sacrificial love. Romans 1 John chapter 4, verse 11. We're not supposed to love them like this. It's just how we live. I'm not supposed to love my husband when he doesn't do it. First John chapter 4, verse 11. Bible says, God, soul, and that phrase is so love, it means love is like this. Their kind of love. What kind? We read it, verse 10, and he gave himself for us. If God loved us to that degree, to that extent, to that point, what does it say? We ought also to love one another. And then, so amazing. So amazing. No man can see God at any time. Listen, no man can see God at any time. If we love one another, God dwelleth in us, and His love is perfected in us. Save the time. John chapter 1, verse number 18. This is what it says. John is speaking. He says, no man can see the Father except the Son, and the Son manifested the Father. Jesus manifested God. Now here it is. There's no message. Jesus is gone. Not here. And just like John chapter 1, verse 18 says, no man has seen God. First John chapter 4, no man has seen God. But this verse is saying is this: no man has seen God, but when we love. When we love us, will perfect God's love to us. This is what he's saying. God used Jesus to manifest himself to the world. But now Jesus is gone. Now how does God manifest himself to the world? It's not Jesus anymore. It's us loving the way he loves. God. How do we do that? Building nice buildings? When we do that, verse number 3, hereby know we that what hereby means as a result, when we do this, when we love the neighbor, hereby know we that we dwell in him and he in us. Because he has given us of his spirit. In other words, the one who does the loving is it's his spirit. The relationship with the Holy Spirit. You and I is on that by nature. We don't like to be. Most of us will never love to the point that really picked up me. It's crazy or to love. You can talk to it in man. And then you saw him. And you can also most of us very sure. We don't really remember back. We're just saying, keep him on that. Keep him on it. Keep him. So that man is crazy. But he's still the spirit. That type of love. So I ask, what is it in your life and my life that I can confess to you that God is not that? If love is happening to people when it's not a problem with the source, it's a problem with God. And the greatest sin, the mother of all sins, is, you know what the greatest sin in the Bible is? The mother, the Tarzan of all the sins in the Bible. Here it is, ready? Selfishness. That's the mother of all sins. Every sin is a problem of selfishness. And as you and I learn to crucify ourselves, we're never going to manifest God for this world. Loving like God loves. The raising kids are parents. You ever tried it? You ever want to kill them? They love them. It hurts. Pastor, I have to, they're my kids. I get it. But here it is. We don't have to. They're my kids. Do we love them? Is the question. Do we love them? Say what it is. Having received. Because if we haven't received, so I asked that question this morning with God and having received. And what's the love of God? That Jesus came to forgive you for everything. Save you from hell and take you to heaven and make you his child, adopt you, justify you, promise you home. Have you experienced that? Redemption. We all take you in that prayer. Out of convenience, out of lust, out of selfish, out of sacrifice, where it hurts, where it makes you uncomfortable, where it messes with my skin, where it messes with my plans, where it touches my finances, where it touches my skill and my heart. God, Lord, this morning, I want to speak to him and say, Lord, I need to love you. Oh my God. Father, I really exalt you. As we go our way this week, and we have to get the truth that we heard this morning, that we would love you on your behalf. We don't create it, we give it. Water was nothing created, Lord. It just takes it from one place to the other. That is crucified our flesh. And love people. Release it. Thank you so much. Church, a great week. I hope you get it. Take it in our hearts. Have a wonderful afternoon. Make sure to greet each other on your way out. Please, Sunday school. Enjoy it. And being here this week. God bless you.